Ranmasuyana, remnants of a lost civilization. Sandwiched between the Thisawaywa Reservoir and the Isurimuniya Rock Temple, Ranmasuyana of Anuradhapura, a 40-acre pleasure garden of the ancient Sri Lankan royals, is a unique creation. Sri Lanka's sacred city of Anuradhapura is an unlikely place to be enmeshed in a fantastic tale of UFOs and otherworldly happenings. Locally known as Rajarata, Land of Kings, the UNESCO World Heritage Site was the first established kingdom on the island, in 377 BC, and is at the heart of Sri Lanka's Buddhist culture. Today, it's one of the nation's most visited places, attracting devoted pilgrims from around the country to its ancient Buddhist temples and giant dome-shaped stupas. But this holy city is also home to something far more curious. Here, in Ranmasuyana, Golden Fish Park, a 40-acre ancient urban park surrounded by 3 Buddhist temples, is a chart that's alleged to be a map to unlock the secrets of the universe. Measuring around 1.8 m in diameter, Sakwala Chakraya, which translates to universe cycle in Sinhalese, is shallowly carved onto a low rock face among the protected park ruins. Its front facade can only be seen from ground level. In fact, facades have been sculpted into a flat rock surface opposite that provide the ideal viewing area. Both the map and seats, which are also of mysterious origin, have puzzled historians, archaeologists, and academics for more than a century. Ranmasuyana was used for a prolonged period in history, said Professor Raj Somadeva, Senior Professor of Archaeology at the University of Kelania, Sri Lanka. The second major developmental phase seems to have begun in the 7th century CE. During that period, several new buildings were added to the earlier garden layout. The chart could be a work of this period, but it's impossible to know because its existence, function, or anything related to it is not mentioned in any historic records, which were meticulously kept by Buddhist monks. While little is known about the chart and its purpose, the iconography is incompatible with other carvings of the Anuradhapura period, 3rd to 10th century AD. The chart's center is made up of 7 concentric circles divided by parallel vertical and horizontal lines. Rectangular compartments contain small, crossed circles. To the untrained eye, there are figures resembling umbrellas or bow and arrows, a kite, wavy lines, and cylindrical shapes. An outer ring depicts marine animals, fish, turtles, seahorses. When compared to other carvings from the same period such as the Sandakada Pahana, which depicts vines, swans, and a lotus, all typical of Buddhist iconography, the chart is without religious context, leaving it without an obvious explanation as to why it is here. Conspiracy theorists noted that the Stargate of Anuradhapura had near-identical shapes and symbols to those found at Abu Ghurab in Egypt and La Puerta de Hayumaca in Peru. The most striking similarity, it was said, as speculation around Sri Lanka's Stargate reached its peak, is its proximity to water. The nearby Thisawaywa Reservoir, built in 300 BC, has been thrown around as conclusive evidence, since both Abu Ghurab and La Puerta de Hayumaca were also built near water, which, according to the Stargate theory, allowed extraterrestrial beings to process gold from Earth's water. This otherworldly theory has been further fueled by the chart's proximity to Danegala Mountain, also known as Alien Mountain, in the nearby sacred city of Polonnaruwa. Danegala, which lies deep in the jungle and is popular with hikers, has a unique circular shape and entirely flat top. This led internet sleuths to conclude that it must have, at one time, been used for UFO landings. Strangely, according to Sri Abewikrama, a local tour guide, villagers in the area do believe that Alien Mountain attracts more shooting stars and thunder and lightning above it than anywhere else. However, according to Somadev, there is little archaeologically to suggest that it's a stargate. Instead, Somadeva believes a more sensible conclusion is that the chart is an early map of the world, as suggested by Bell, because that explanation has religious and cosmological context that is logical, given the period and place in time. According to Somadev, at least since 250 BCE, Sri Lankans had a clear idea of objects in the sky and outer space. In early Brahmi inscriptions, found in Sri Lanka, there are a number of names that refer to specific stars and concepts related to astronomy. One of the inscriptions in Kirinda, a religious and historic site on Sri Lanka's southern coast, contains the phrase Aparimita Loka Dhatuya, meaning the infinite universe. What it suggests is that the person who engraved it had a very good understanding of the nature of the universe they lived in. According to Somadev, the greatest challenge in identifying the function of the chart has been the lack of evidence to correctly date it. While Rammasuyana and other parks and stupas in Anuradhapura are mentioned in chronicles and inscriptions dating as far back as 250 BC, the Sakwala Chakraya is not described in any historical records. There would definitely have been a practical use for this diagram, but it's a huge challenge to figure out what that might have been when we can't correctly date it. So it seems that Sri Lanka's enigmatic alleged Stargate remains shrouded in mystery, its purpose and meaning still lost to time. The Heart's newly acquired cult status amongst sci-fi enthusiasts, however, has finally given it some well-deserved public attention. Thanks to their enthusiasm and the power of social media, it has finally stepped out of the shadow of larger-than-life Anuradhapura to stand apart on its own. So what do you think? Did Sri Lanka really have a Stargate where ancient beings would travel back and forth in the distant past? Only if we are able to decipher the Sakwala Chakraya we might be able to know. Until next time with some more interesting video. Stay tuned.